Hello dear students, welcome to the another video tutorial of histology. In that we have started the anatomy of skin, and today's session topic will be hypodermis, that will be the third subcutaneous layer of the skin. Okay, so in last session we have seen the about dermis, that is the middle layer of the skin. Okay, the cell type in that are the permanent cells are present like muscle cells of dermal muscles. Okay, and that is erector pili muscles. Okay, the permanent cells of that muscle cells, and some nerve cells are present. Okay, and they are having the free nerve endings. Okay, so some migratory cells of the human system are present in the dermis. Okay, so the some cells like the leukocytes, lymphocytes, and some migrating natural killer cells. Okay, so the extracellular matrix of the dermis having the substances or the main constituents like of which these are the providing the stable structure to the dermis are the collagen type 1, that will be the main type of the fibers which are present in the extracellular matrix of the dermis. Okay, and the second will be the add supporting to the collagen type 1. So in the supporting role will be collagen type 3 and the collagen type 4 with the elastic fibers. Okay, and some elastic fibers to providing some elasticity to the dermis, to having to flexibility to the skin. Okay, so some elastic fibers are playing their role to providing the elasticity to the dermis as well as the skin. Okay, so next third main type, that will be the last session for the skin. Okay, and this will be the part third for the skin. Okay, so in that we are going to focus on the hypodermis. Okay, and hypodermis will be the third layer of that will be finally the dermis is rest on the layer of loose connective tissue. Okay, the dermis is lying or having its presence on these loose connective tissues known as the hypodermis. Okay, so as you have knowing the sentence is, okay, the actual meaning that the loose connective tissue is the main tissue type which are going to comprises in mean to having this hypodermis. Okay, so it is superficial and the facial sheath. Okay, that facial sheath with uh, interspreaded adipose tissues. Okay, some adipose tissues with the loose connective tissue as well as the some they are having the sheath, that means the coating, the fat coating. Okay, and that sheath coating with the by the adipose tissue. Okay, and that will be the panniculus adiposus. Okay, this will be the its Italian name. Okay, so panniculus adiposus as is referred as the adipose tissue. Okay, the fascia reduces. Okay, the fascia reduces in friction between the dermis and deeper muscular, while the adipose tissue participates in the thermoregulatory mechanism as well as the disperses forces generated from the direct impact. Okay, so why this fat layer or these referred as the fascia? Okay, and that fat layer is referred as the fascia, and that are going to reduce the um, musculature with the dermis. Okay, that means the you can see in this picture or this diagram, the highlighted green color is the subcutaneous tissues, that are the tela subcutanea or nothing but the hypodermis. Okay, and with this hypodermis, okay, so they are having the fascial sheaths, okay, and that is referred as the fascia, okay, and that fascia reduces the friction in between the second layer and the direct contact with the muscle layer, okay. They are, and it also having the participation in the thermoregulatory mechanism, that having and presence of the sweat glands, okay. The root hair bulbs are present in these layers, okay, and the shafts, okay, some new some veins, okay, that are furtherly converted into the venules as well as arterioles in the into the dermis as well as the epidermis, okay, and that our main veins or the venules or the arteries are present in the hypodermis, okay. So this will be the main part with the adipose tissue providing a sheath material, and that fascial sheath is going to reduce the friction, okay, and providing the extra stability to the skin, okay. So as you can see, the it participate in the thermoregulatory mechanism. That thermoregulation is nothing but the um, control of the temperature, okay. As the surrounding temperature increases, our body is uh, secrete a sweat, okay, and that sweat is secreted by means of these sweat glands. As you will see in the next picture, that the sweat gland structures, okay, and the as you can see, having the ducts present, okay, and that sweat is going to uh, cool down the surface of skin, and that are going to regulate our extra temperature, that will be reduces up to the 37 degree, that will be the 98-degree Fahrenheit, the normal temperature, okay. So as you can see in this picture, that it is the TS of the skin showing the subcutaneous tissue, that is the hypodermis region of the uh, skin, okay. So highlighted in green color, that will be the hypodermis region. So there is geographical variations in distribution of superficial adipose tissue, okay, and at those individual living in a colder climate, okay, those individuals are living in colder climate tend to have larger quantity of fat than those living in warmer climate. So what will be the reason? That ultimately nature is going to having impact on the um, as well as the anatomy or the physiology of the personnels, okay. As the person is living in the uh, colder climate, okay, and that is living in the colder climate, that's having the large fatty layer. Why that large fatty layer is present in the skin, okay. So it having to resist that cold, that's why the fatty layer are more into the persons who are living in the colder climate as compared to the warmer climates, okay. And what happen in the warmer climate, the surrounding temperature is always above the normal, okay, and that optimum temperature for the survival of the human being, okay, is if that temperature crosses that 40 degree or the 40 or 42 degree Celsius, okay, and that if our body temperature rises from 38 to 39 degree Celsius also, that having the secretion of the sweat, okay, and that secretion of the sweat or the sweat gland is well developed in those personals, okay. That's why they are secreting more sweat, and thermoregulation mechanism is going to act on themselves, okay. However, the amount of the subcutaneous fat present in individual is indication of that person lipid stores, and by extension their dietary consumption of the lipid. Okay, so a small bundle of a smooth muscle called as arrector pili muscles, we have seen in the last session the arrector pili muscles, that serves to connect to the deep part of the hair follicle with the superficial dermis originates in these layers. Okay, and contraction of the muscle due to extreme fright. Okay, and that extreme fright or the cold causes the erection of hair and puckering of the skin, commonly known as the goosebumps. Okay, you know that the goosebumps, that hair is going to erect. Okay, and that erections of the hairs are known as the goosebumps. Okay, and as you can see in this picture, that this is the TS of the skin. Okay, and this will be the diagrammatic representation of the TS of skin. Okay, as you can see the green green that highlighted point that are showing the subcutaneous layer. Okay, that will be referred as the hypodermis. Okay, as you can see the sweat gland present, okay, into the hypodermis, and that sweat gland having the sweat gland duct residing into the dermis region. Okay, and the sweat pore at the up of the epidermis. Okay, having the pore, and that hole is going to secrete the sweat on the surrounding to maintain the thermoregulation mechanism. Okay, as you can see the papilla or the hair, okay, that is the hair shaft or the hair root is present into the subcutaneous layer. Okay, as you can see the second part that will be lamellated, that will be panaceum. Corpuscles are present into the adipose tissues. Okay, and these are all bigger tissues. You can see the whitish in the color at the bottom of the hypodermis is the adipose tissue. Okay, that's why it's referred as the subcutaneous layer. Okay, as you can see some arterioles, venules. Okay, and that are comprises to mean having into the subcutaneous layer of the hypodermis. Okay, as we are having the total explanation about the skin. Okay, since last three sessions. Okay, we have seen the epidermis, okay, dermis and the hypodermis. Okay, we have seen the five layers of the epidermis, that will be stratum corneum, stratum lucidum, stratum granulosum, stratum spinosum and the stratum basal. Okay, we have seen in the dermis that will be the papillary muscles. Okay, and that papillary pili muscles are going to connect the stratum basal to, that means the epidermis, to the direct to the subcutaneous layer, that will be the hypodermis region. Okay, and that is the very important pili or the arrector muscles that are going to comprise this main role to providing the extra stability into the mechanical stability way, as well as the metabolic stability also is provided by these papillary muscles. Okay, you can see some sebaceous glands, that are these sebaceous glands are present into the dermis region. Okay, and that are going to secrete oil secretions. Okay, as you touch your facials on your faces. Okay, the facial skin, the providing the moisture, extra moisture to the face, these sebaceous gland or the subcutaneous glands are the present, sebaceous glands are present, or the oil glands present into the skin. Okay, that present into the um, all over the skin organ. Okay, so as you can see the embryology of the skin. Okay, that just highlighted point, that how that skin is going to that skin is going to that organ formations are going to form from the which layer. We know that we have seen in the very second session of the histology, that will be in the second lecture, that will be it is originated from the ectodermal layer. But the integumentary system, that means it includes the skin and its appendages, namely the nails, hairs, and the sweat glands. Okay, that are all all are originated from the ectodermal layer. But the origin has variety of the embryological origins, that which are accounts for the different type of the structures that are found within the its um, ectodermal layer. Okay, so the developing embryo contains the several layers. Okay, we have seen that the ectoderm, endoderm, and the mesoderm. Okay, so the significant to this topic are the ectoderm and the mesenchyme layers, okay, that gives rise to the epidermis, dermis, and the respectively. Okay, so between the fifth to the seventh gestational week, okay, that fifth to the seventh week, the ectodermal layer develops from the precious single layer of cell and the divides into the periderm. Okay, that periderm is also referred as the epitrachum and basal layers. Okay, so the epitrachum or that basal layers covers the surface of the embryo and undergoes the continuous cycle of keratinization, that production of the keratin, and that keratinization replacing the cell cytoplasm with the keratin, and uh, desquamation scheduling the outer layer of the tissues for the next 21 weeks. Okay, and the basal layer, that is stratum germinatum, okay, that will be act as the germinal layer that continuously replicates to replace the superficial cells that are losing during the desquamation. Desquamation means that are going to shed off from your skin to the direct into the, when you are going to bath, when you are going to rub your skin, okay, or when you are not going to do anything, but they are going to shed off from your skin. Okay, and that stratum germinatum, that layer will be the germinal layer that are going to continuous replicates or the replace that superficial cells, okay, during the this desquamation. And it should be noted that the exfolded, that exfoliated cells, that along with the subcutaneous secretions and the shelled lungo into the hairs, okay, and that going to be the vernix caseosa, that will be the a white chassis coating found on the neonates. That neonates means you can see the when the birth of the younger ones are going to give, that mother is going to give birth to the younger one, okay, and that whitish coating found on the that small babies, that will be the layer of the vernix caseosa, okay, a white chassis coating on the neonates. Okay, and subsequent differentiations, that the stratum germinatum will result into the formation of the intermediate layer around the 11 weeks. Okay, and the integumentary or the intermediate layers further differentiate into the distinct layer that called as a stratum spicinum and the stratum granulosum. Okay, as we have seen the stratum spicinum, stratum granulosum into the epidermis. Okay, so the formation that contains polyhedral cells are joined by the tonofibrils. Okay, this will be the connective tissues, and that tonofibrils will be associated with the macula adherens and anchors the cellular cytoskeleton. Okay, that are going to providing the stability. Okay, to the, while the latter has the characteristic, that is the keratohalon granules, that are going to initial proteinaceous compound that are responsible for the keratinization of the cells. Okay, and also within the third gestational month, okay, that third month in during the pregnancy, that neural crest cells that migrate into the epidermis. Okay, that neural crest cells are migrate into the epidermis and differentiate into the melanoblast. Okay, and that melanoblast matures to form melanocytes, and that are going to produce the melanin. Okay, that melanocyte during the gestational pair of the third month. Okay, and that melanocytes into the individual of the rhesus to produce the melanin. Okay, that will be having the very important role with the hormone secretions as well as the your circadian rhythm. Okay, and that differentiate into that darker skin individuals, that the melanin is stored in the large melanosomes, okay, that are storing cells for these melanin pigments uh, and melanin granules. Okay, so then those that vacuoles in the lighter skin individuals are going to less in the numbers. Okay, the dermis has a triplet embryologically inclusive of the lateral and the proximal mesodermal as well as the neural crest. Okay, and that neural crest cells that are the lateral mesodermal mesenchyme. Okay, and which provides the dermal cells in the body wall of the limbs. Okay, and that the proximal mesodermal mesenchyme going to give rise to the dermal cells of the back. Okay, your back. And finally the neural crest cells provides the cell of the neck and the face. Okay, and close to the end of the third trimester, that dermis is going to dermis is also referred as the corium, that differentiate into the dermal papillae, that will be the papillary layer. Okay, into the um, dermis. Okay, and which contains the sensory nerves endings and capillary loops and extend into the epidermal layer. Okay, so the subcorneum or the subcorium, that will be referred as the reticular layer, and it is the fatty region, that dermis, that also contains the large quantities in the elastin and the collagen fibers. Okay, so that will be as comprises the subcorneum as well as the reticular layer. Okay, this will be the embryological origin of your skin as well as the your having the uh, different regions of your skin layers. Okay, that are the originated from the ectodermal origin. Okay, so we are concluding here the skin topic. Okay, and in next session we are going to start the histological structure of the next organ into the same chapter, that will be the third chapter. Okay, so we will meet in the next session. Thank you.